Hello everybody, John Control back here again with another video. It's Tuesday night and I'm back with another Flash review, and you know what? Today is the big review of the premiere two-part episode event of Flash and Arrow crossover. Yes, the event that we've all been waiting for ever since the premiere of The Flash and the premiere of Season 3 of Arrow has finally come. I'm reviewing The Flash episode 8 titled Flash vs. Arrow, and it was a pretty badass episode to say the least. Unfortunately for all of you guys who are really desiring Batman v Superman type of shit, you know, you wanted to see some shared universe DC content, that's the complete opposite we're getting it today. But we got the next best thing. Of course, DC gives us the TV shared universe Flash and Arrow, and it was pretty interesting to say the least. I was actually surprised into how much comedy was put into the episode. I mean, granted, Flash has proven that DC can do comedic, lighthearted type of content, but at the same time, I thought that with the occurrence of Arrow on Flash, that with Oliver Queen and that whole vibe, it would bring a lot more tension and possible, like, you know, the realism / darkness of Arrow to Flash. I thought that would have came in handy, but they didn't really do that. They had some instances here and there where they got really dark with the episode, but overall, the episode is a normal Flash episode, except with Arrow characters, so that's pretty much the gist of it. But I really liked this episode. It was very enjoyable, and I cannot wait till tomorrow's finale of this crossover. But nevertheless, let's get right down to it. There's a new metahuman in town who can control people's emotions. Yes, he has the ability to use your emotions against you, and that's what the overall, topic of this episode is: how to use your emotions and how your emotions can affect other people. And this metahuman does get under the skin of Barry, and it affects the rest of Team Flash and Team Arrow. On top of that, Team Arrow and Oliver and Felicity Diggle pretty much move to Central City. Well, not move, but they come to Central City specifically to hunt down and try and discover who is the person with the boomerang. And we already know who that is, of course. That's Digger Harkness, of course, aka Captain Boomerang, the man himself, which we saw in Arrow last week, and or previous weeks ago, and pretty much I already gave my thoughts on there. I think the actor they got is pretty awesome. I personally like him, and the design they went for, I do enjoy. I would have wished they could have made the boomerangs look sharper, because I don't know why, but every time that boomerang was on scene, it just looked too plasticky. And like, I know they kind of explained what the metal was made out of, and like on Star Labs they kind of explained it, like what the boomerang's made out of and shit, and how it's used, but I don't know, it's just aesthetically not that pleasing to the eye on the set. It just looks too plasticky, and I would have liked them to, like, I don't know, just gloss it up a little bit more. Just make it look more like something that can look really dangerous, because that's the point of Captain Boomerang. His boomerangs are supposed to be really dangerous, hence why he's such a threat to the Flash. But anyways, Team Arrow comes to Central City to try and discover who is Digger Harkness, and / Captain Boomerang. And on top of that, Felicity tries to encourage a team up where Oliver should try and help Barry, and Barry should try and help Oliver, and how that kind of, team up can happen. On top of that, we get some more subplots with apparently Eddie is trying to create a task force, to take down the Flash, and Iris is against that, and that kind of goes in and out throughout the episode as, like, should he do it? Should he accomplish it? How does Iris feel about it? And it really goes 180, like, at the end of the episode, but I'll get to that in a second. But on top of that, we also have this freaking metahuman who's screwing everything up. He starts to get into Barry's emotions, and, everybody's not really trusting each other. Team Flash doesn't trust Team Arrow, specifically Harrison Wells. Ironically, we did not get any creepy Harrison Wells stuff, but he did say that he was determined to find out who was the Arrow, and of course he definitely stated, along with Joe, that they don't really trust Oliver, which kind of made sense because, Barry is obviously very friendly, and he gets along with Oliver a lot, even though Oliver kind of doesn't really give a shit about him, ironically. But I thought it was kind of interesting, like, how they're the ones who are like, he's like, that guy was, like, the main cause of everything that went wrong with Starling. You do realize that, right, Barry? It's like, no, but he's a good guy, he doesn't kill anymore. It's like, yeah, but he puts arrows through people's fucking arms, you know, that's crazy shit, you know how fucking infected that gets, you know, it's just, I don't know, there's just so much comedic value in this episode it's just awesome. And, but of course the metahuman does eventually get into the mind and emotion of Barry. Barry's obviously angry at the world, he's angry at Joe, he's angry at Eddie for being with Iris, he's also angry with Oliver and thinks that Oliver's jealous of his superpowers and whatnot, so he's obviously going on a fucking binge here. And then we eventually get into the battle, yes, the climactic battle that we were all expecting, hence the title Flash versus Arrow, and it was a pretty decent battle. I was hoping that it would be more extensive, and I do get the reasoning behind it. I mean, like, it was the only type of plot point that they could use to make Barry fight Oliver, because obviously Oliver has no point to fight Flash, and Barry has no reason to fight the Arrow. They just have no reasoning to it, you know, because Oliver only fights people and tries to hurt people, obviously, to get answers and to people that he's trying to pursue, while on the other hand, Barry's just naturally a really nice guy. So obviously, that was the only plot point, but at the same time, I don't know, there was just a little off-putting to the fact that the sole purpose as to why they were fighting was because Barry was affected by the metahuman's powers. I don't know, I just felt that they should have just used what was there, you know, like Barry thinks Oliver's jealous and just goes against him, you know, and that's how it should have been. But, you know, it is what it is. Nevertheless, the battle itself was pretty cool. I liked how Oliver was practically using every single arrow he had to fucking try and stop Flash. Although, I do find it kind of impossible that Oliver would find the upper hand to stop Flash. I mean, come on, Flash, Barry's the fastest man alive. He's the fastest being in comic books history. No other comic book character is faster than Flash. So, even though in the reality of the show, he still has yet to discover all his powers, you know, like the Speed Force and traveling through time and dimension and shit, and obviously dodging bullets and letting them go right through him and shit. At the same time, it's like, he's discovered enough to take down, you know, Oliver very easily. Come on, you know, but nevertheless, the fight was pretty badass. We already know that, you know, Arrow and Flash can pull off really awesome action sequences, but together, it was an A+ on my book. The fight was awesome. Arrow was, you know, shooting shit off the fucking cuff, and freaking Barry was just taunting him and just beating the shit out of him in super speed. It was just awesome and badass. It was definitely the highlight of this entire episode, and obviously, hence the title, it had to be. I mean, like, if they failed at that one attempt, it obviously would have, you know, fell on their faces, but overall, the fight was pretty good. I wish it could have been longer, you know, because the overall episode itself is kind of just set up to it, and just nonsense, you know, CW cheese, but it was good. The only complaint I have was, you know, the reaction, the reasoning, and the overall outcome, kinda. I mean, like, granted, Oliver had to win because, you know, Barry had to, you know, become back to his old self. But at the same time, I want you guys in the comment section below, let me know how you personally think about the fight. And do you think, realistically, Oliver would have ever caught Barry's punch? I mean, come on, we all know that Oliver at this point in time is pretty much almost, hence, you know, because he still occasionally gets his ass kicked, is pretty much almost an expert fighter. You know, he pretty much has shown that through the 3 seasons we've seen him fight. But at the same time, he's going against the fastest man alive. How could he be able to catch and witness and catch his fist? I don't know. I just didn't see how that could have happened. But it had to happen, so I kind of get it. Nevertheless, they eventually do say their thank yous, their I'm sorries, I forgive yous and whatnot, and they eventually go out, find the metahuman, put him in their jail. I like the comedic moments, though, which was the highlight. We also get some really awesome, you know, just some more, you know, sequences with how the overall episode's topic goes hand in hand, you know, with, you know, their conversations together. Obviously, Team Arrow and Flash decide that it's okay to work together and, you know, we can trust each other. Even though Oliver, ironically enough, did state when he was leaving Star Labs that there's something wrong with Harrison Wells. So, even the Arrow knows the truth. So, who is Harrison Wells? I don't fucking know. There's a lot of speculation, but you know what? We're gonna find out sooner or later. But I'll leave that for the end of this video. But anyways, we do have one big climactic ending with Iris and Barry basically talking about what was going on with Barry at the time, his actions towards Eddie and Iris at the time of his emotional rampage, his roid rage, his speed rage, if you will. I don't know what the fuck you want to call it. But nevertheless, Iris decides that it's better said and done to actually not see each other ever again, which was really sad. I find it ironic, but I could be wrong about this. You guys can tell me in the comment section below. But does anybody find it weird and odd that over the course of this season on The Flash, that Iris and Barry have, whether or not they've said it, but have shown that they keep denying each other of what they want, and they also continue to go their separate ways? Like, why does that keep happening? Like, that happened previously, where Barry was like, you know what? Maybe it's best we don't see each other for a while, and then that lasted for, like, what, 5 seconds until Eddie came in and was like, you know, you need to be best friends again, you know, fucking asshole. And then now we get it again with Iris not trusting in Flash, and obviously deciding that, you know, they should not be, you know, hand in hand anymore, even though that also didn't last that much. I mean, it lasted a good while, but I don't know. But then again, what do you guys think? In the comments section below, let me know what you personally thought about this episode. What did you think about the fight, Flash versus Arrow? And I personally give this episode a good 8.5 out of 10. I would have gave it a 9, but the main reason as to why I'm not giving this episode a 9 or a 10 is mostly due to the fact that it was way too goofy. I felt that the serious tone of the title should have, been presented in the actual episode itself. Like, it was just too goofy and comedic. Like, as much as I love that, and I love how Flash accomplishes it, it's fucking called Flash vs. Arrow. Make the episode about that, I want to see some epic, crazy, climactic, cinematography type shit with Flash, like, going at it with Arrow, and Arrow, like, shooting, like, every single, weapon he has in his fucking arsenal. Hence, Arsenal, which ironically wasn't even in this episode, but, I don't know. I'm just saying, people, it was good. It just wasn't everything that I wanted, I guess that just comes hand in hand when you get, fan service, because that's what this is what the crossover is. It's fan service. It's service for the fans. They're giving us this because we want it. So it is what it is. It's good. Just wasn't perfect in my personal opinion, but that's just me. In the comment section below, let me know what you personally thought. But anyways, we got some interesting badass stuff in the end title sequence. No, not more Harrison Wells stuff, even though I would have appreciated it, but we got our first official look, people, at Firestorm. Yes, Ronnie Raymond was in this episode at the last minute, of course, and he has been presented as Firestorm, and it looks so badass. Even though it looks a little too much like, Human Torch, it looks a little too similar, but hopefully when he officially gets his costume, which hopefully will be soon, maybe like, probably when Flash comes back on break, maybe we'll get to see him in full costume, or maybe next week, on the mid-season finale. Maybe we'll see him get his costume there. It really depends, because we don't really know. But nevertheless, it was pretty badass to see Ronnie Raymond finally in his Firestorm persona, and I can't wait to see more stuff from him. But anyways, Team Arrow and Team Flash officially went their ways. Arrow is going back to Central City, and of course Flash is still trying to deal with his emotions with Iris and the whole thing. Also, another really cool presented, character that we got in this fucking episode, which I know I keep saying fucking, I'm sorry, the cursing must stop, but I can't help it. This episode has gotten me giddy, if you will. I want to skip across a cornfield or something, I don't know. Nevertheless, we got some interesting stuff besides the Ronnie Raymond stuff. Remember that character that Oliver knocked up in the flashback in Season 2? I forgot her name. I'm pretty sure you hardcore Arrow fans probably know, but in the comment section below, let me know what her name was. I completely forgot it, but I'm pretty sure you remember, during the Slade-Wilson conflict, and when Mora died, there was a specific scene, flashback sequence, where she was having a conversation with Oliver about the chance of actually becoming a father, and what that girl was, his girlfriend at the time, was going to do or whatever with the child. And apparently she got an abortion or some shit and decided to go move away and live her separate life away from Oliver and Starling or whatever the fuck. I don't know. I can't remember. But anyways, that chick is back. Apparently she was in this episode before Team Arrow decided to leave and go back to Starling. She had a quick scene and conversation with Oliver. Now, does that mean we're going to be able to see Oliver's son anytime soon? Oliver obviously had a lot of things to talk about. Of course, he, had that whole conversation about, like, guys like us don't ever get the girl, and how, like, Barry should stay away from Iris for the best of them and shit, whatnot. But then again, we get this whole other sequence with this other chick, and apparently she had the kid. Yeah, Oliver's son, or alleged son, illegitimate son, if you will, is out there in the mints in Central City. So, are we ever going to see that kid? I really don't know. They hinted at last season, and I guess maybe by the end of this season, or maybe by season 4, we'll get to see Oliver's son. Or maybe that was just a quick little Easter egg just for the fans. I really don't know, but let me know what you personally thought. I actually was really shocked. Like, the second that chick came in on screen, the actress, I forgot her name, sorry, in the comment section below, remind me who it was. But the second I saw her, I was like, oh shit. Oh shit, there's a reason why she's here. His kid's alive somewhere, living, he's alive. He's grown up, possibly, maybe not fully grown up, but he's a kid. Is he going to be a part of Team Arrow? There's this. The speculation continues, guys. The speculation continues, and it's driving me crazy. I want to rip someone's freaking throat out and just be like, tell me why, Batman style. But anyways, this episode was badass. Flash vs. Arrow. Amazing episode. Ronnie Raymond coming back as Firestorm. Really awesome. Oliver's son out there, pretty interesting to say the least. Flash vs. Arrow, badass sequence. The comedic elements were awesome. Diggle's, reaction to Barry having powers was priceless, to say the least. Seeing Felicity without a shirt on was pretty badass in and of itself, but that's a whole nother topic / video. But yeah, this episode was pretty awesome. It was everything that we could have had, and maybe a little bit more, but it's still, left a little bit more to be desired, if you will. So that's why I give it the rating it was. But anyways, this crossover is not done yet, people. Tomorrow night on Wednesday, we will be getting the ending of this crossover titled The Brave and the Bold on Arrow, so definitely be on the lookout for that. I will be reviewing that tomorrow night. Of course, go back to my previous reviews and check out other Flash episodes if you've not seen them already. Subscribe to my channel if you've also haven't done that already. And I can't wait to see some really epic stuff from these characters. We all know that Flash and Arrow are going on break possibly next week, so yeah, it's going to be quite interesting on how these TV shows leave us. I pretty much love Arrow and Flash. They're basically my favorite comic book TV shows out today, so yeah, it's going to be really interesting to say the least. But anyways, let me know what you personally thought. I hope you guys enjoyed. This has been John True 12.